Welcome. My name is Marta Garcia. I'm the director of the Argonne training program on stream computing. I will call from now on at PESC all the time. And this is the outline of the presentation. First, I would like to welcome you and the institutions that you are representing. I will have a few words about Argonne National Laboratory and then the motivation of this training program. You will see the curriculum. I will talk a little bit about the tracks, and I will remind some logistics. Maybe you are interested in that, especially because of the different levels of this hotel. We will make sure that we won't waste too much time moving from here to the dinners area. So welcome all of you, or at least probably 60% right now. And welcome all the institutions, 45 institutions. You are 70 participants. We are welcome more this year than it was in the past. In general, we have funding for 60, and we were able to accommodate a little bit more this time. I want to thank at the end the sponsor. And here are you. Your codes have space and time first to make sure that, for especially the ones that are international, you know where they are. We are close to Chicago area, okay? And then some of you came by car, others, most of you flew from different locations in the US. And well, we are all part of sometimes simulation squad with different scales. So I guess it's easy to represent that. Especially the multi-physical, multi-scales is complicated situations. And time. So this is your time. One advice that we'll have after is that try to make sure that you stay in these 2 weeks focusing whatever your goals are for the program. Because life is complicated. You come and go. You have your PhD, your postdoc, your work. And in reality, in real life, you don't have time to stop. And then don't worry about anything, food or lodging, and just focus on your science and your scientific accomplishment that you wanna do. At PESC is here for you now because you will attend. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. And we want to make sure that in the future we still provide information that will be useful for you. So what you will learn now will hopefully go with you during the next years. And you will see that some of the elements will change. For example, like the dinner talks, we try to make them different. So to show you that in the future you can still come back to previous programs and future programs and then find things that may be interesting for you and not just the basic MPI or OpenMP tutorials. It's conceived, as I mentioned, it's like a retreat, so that was my element before. Argonne National Laboratory, so it's one of the organizers, and for those who are not from the US or for the ones that are from some US universities, there are 17 national laboratories. Argonne is one of them. In this area, you have the information of the Department of Energy, and only 2 of them have the leadership computing facilities. One is Oak Ridge, and the other one is Argonne. The leadership computing facilities are some of the resources that you will be using during this training program. The original Argonne. So I was told on Friday, unfortunately, that the ones that will be in the Argonne tour will not be able to visit the nuclear exhibition because there's going to be some work inside. But Argonne was born especially after the Manhattan program more than 70 years ago when there was the first nuclear chain reaction. You probably heard about that and the work that Fermi did in 1942. Argonne has a lot of divisions. Here is the list. If you go, for example, in our websites, divisions and facilities. Facilities that can be accessed by anyone all over the world. It's not just exclusive to Argonne users. One of the facilities is that the Argonne Leadership Computing Facility, and the Oak Ridge is the other one from Oak Ridge National Laboratory. And where is my pointer? You see it? Here we go. And the other facilities that some of you will visit is the Advanced Photon Source And not, unfortunately, the Center for Nanoscale Materials, but ATLAS, this, the Argonne Tandem Linear Accelerator System. So the principle of Argonne and most of the Department of Energy national laboratories is to push science forward, to push in another level, to solve scientific complicated problems. These are the one that I was mentioning, APS, ALCF, and ATLAS is something that you will visit. CNM is also providing some systems, not for you today, but it's in the future if someone is interested in the nano science, if you have, not only for experiment, but also for simulations, I think it's a good facility to envision. We have a previous history in Argonne, and not only in the facility of the computer. So it was the Vedic in 1949 and 1953. And it was funny because Vedic, it was compared, if you see the last sentence, it was compared to what a computer was at the time, who was a person. It was they were comparing, so this computer, Vedic, was 1,000 times faster than what a person was able to calculate with a desk calculator, which I guess that now we will need our computers all the time. And Margaret Butler is one of the persons that was working at that time, and Argonne is a nuclear engineer, and she helped after in the Oracle team that was also in collaboration with Oak Ridge. So this is what it was supposed to be the full Argonne National Laboratory on Saturday. Most of you sign in. So the only thing that we will not be visiting, as I mentioned before, the nuclear energy exhibit, but all the others will be available. And at ALCF you will see the machine, the demo room, and the machine room, and you will also visit the visualization lab. And I'm sure you will like the X-ray APS area. So this is like a global view of Argonne, and you have it's close in a forest reserve. This is the main entrance where we'll go with the bus, and then this is the division where we are working on, ALCF, and up. So motivation of this program. So we realized that this kind of supercomputers, every 6 years maximum, there are changes. So you really need to get information how to use the new machines and keep yourself posted every time and how to use them, how to exploit them as much as possible. So one of the elements that probably you started a long time ago or recently your studies, but you will still have to be able to face the situation of new systems and try to learn from them. And there is maybe a lot of information, but the better is to have practice in some of them. So we are trying, one of the elements of ATPES is that you can not only have access to the lectures that we provide, but also to the supercomputers that go with it in case you want to try something bigger. And your simulations and your codes or the research that you do is complicated enough. So you will see that you will need, in order to solve your problems, you will need faster supercomputer. Otherwise, it will take you, well, it already takes sometimes weeks or months to solve. On average, for example, some of the programs that we have at Argonne they ask for 100 million core hours, 200, 300 million core hours that they have time to spend in 1 year. But still, you are facing probably problems that requires a lot of calculation. And the idea is to have this in-depth training conceived as a retreat, as I was mentioned before, so you focus in setting up your goals for the next years or for the future in your career. You are in your PhD and you have to finish. Some of you are in the PhD, others in postdocs, others are working already in industry. But to make sure that whatever you get from that, you can apply it also. It's not just you are having a training and you may have a day the opportunity to use it. Not. We think that one of the reasons why you were selected is because you have a code and you have elements that you can apply whatever you learn and improve it in the future. Just very quick, ATPES by the numbers. 70 participants, in general it's about 60, 70. You have more or less 100 hours in these 2 weeks compact. Courses, lectures and hands-on, so it's not only lectures. In the certificate you will receive at the end, we mentioned that some of you are interested in general included that information in your CV, so you will have that written in the certificate. There is no cost to attend, so there is no registration fee, as you saw, and everything is covered by the sponsors. So that implies pretty big investment. We are talking in these 3 years, for example, is $1.25 million, which is a lot of funding to make sure that we can provide that. And there is not only the funding that is necessary, you need a lot of people behind that is working. We have approximately 60 lecturers. We have the staff that make your travel and help you get in. We have all the reviewers that review your applications. This time we have 19. So there is almost 100 people that is volunteering to make sure that you can get in here. The curriculum. So the program is structured in 7 tracks. There are changes in the agenda. We didn't change that with respect to previous year. You will see a small change in the order, and we vary the length of some tracks. So we try to make sure that the tracks are at least 1 day long. That way you can integrate at night whatever you learn, and then you can move on to the next track the next day with a fresh mind. We will have dinner talks. That's one of the elements that we try to change every year. Today we will start with Ed Seidel from UIUC and CSA. And they are in theory not 100% technical talks, so there are technical talks, but lighter to make sure that you still enjoy the dinner, because it's tough. We know that it's really tough. 2 weeks from 8:30 till 9:30, if you consider hands-on, you will see that today we're going to start light, but it's a really tough program. These are the resources that we will be using are part of the OSCAR user facilities, ALCF, OLCF, and NERSC. And these are the machines that we will be using. We have access, and Ray, which is behind there, and after he will be presenting, he will help you with the login and setting up all the information. Not that the reservations, we will share that with you for each particular day, but he's going to present the resources later. We will have also someone from ESNet presenting. Eli Dart will present on Friday afternoon. And you, in general, you use the system, but you have to communicate. You have to send data. Some of you work in a particular machine and they don't need to transfer. Others are collaborating with a lot of other scientists, and you really need to send that information. And you have to know, I mean, we thought it was useful to share the information also about the network that the Department of Energy is building behind. You will have access to other systems too, Amazon Web Service and Quick Labs from NVIDIA, IBM Quantum Computing tomorrow, and some Jupyter tutorials from Globus visualization. So as I was mentioning, it's very tough. So you will realize that Friday or Saturday, because Saturday morning there are still lessons, staying here 11 hours is still tough. However, we want to make sure that you can enjoy at least the program. So we have, I will present later in another diagram, but we cannot expand too much the program, because otherwise it will end up in a 6-week. I mean, we have to go into a minimum of detail, but we have expanded too much, otherwise you will not be able to come. We are glad because the institutions that you are working, they help you come here, and that you have time to dedicate 2 weeks or your life to come to this location. But in reality, bigger program, it will be difficult to arrange. So that's one of the reasons that is so intensive, because we have to still pack it in a reasonable amount of time. So by contract, we have deliverables. One of them is the presentations, as this one. I will show you, just go into the agenda, and you will have every day the PDFs. The dinner talks, as I mentioned in one of the emails that I sent, will remain a mystery till after, so we want at least to keep some secrets. And the videos will be posted as long as they are available. So we are working with video guys, and then after editing, as soon as they are ready, we will post them by tracks. that way it's organized. And I will let you know at the end of the program, all the presentations will be able to, you just download the one box folder. So you can download every day if you want, but if you want to have everything at the end, I will send you an email with the link of a box folder where you can download everything, just one for your records. So goals for today, I think that this is especially important for you. So make sure that everybody check in, not only here at the hotel, also for the location, that you pick up your tokens. ALCF, OLCF tokens, you have, well, I don't have the token, but it's kind of this small, tiny little calculate. And then NERSC, you don't have a token, it's a SSH, so you still need to sign a form to make sure that you can connect to their systems. And we will try to log in, so you will have to try to every single machine and make sure that you can log into Titan, you can log into NERSC, Cori, and Edison, and the ALCF system. It takes 2 seconds, but if there are problems, then we prefer to solve it today, and if not today and tomorrow, and make sure that you are ready to work with the machines after that. We will have the introductions before we go tonight, from 6:30 to 9:30, if we finish before, when it's fine. And I will show one of those, especially presenting myself. And I want to make sure that you plan your time here. That, I think, is very important. What are your goals? You wrote that down in the application, your purpose of coming for ADPEX. Make sure that you remember that, because otherwise, there is a lot of work involved to create this program, but most of the work is you who have to do it, to make sure that you take advantage of it. And you have maps. We will go over them in a second. And the agenda, we don't have a printed version, but we will be update everything on the web. And then the goals for the next weeks is that make sure that you still enjoy the program. So I know that it's very intensive, but you really have the breaks, you have the lunch, you have the dinner, you have time for you after and before. So make sure that you still have time to think about new ideas or challenges that may come that could help you in your science. And take advantage of the machines. You don't have OLCF and NERSC, the access to the machines will be at the end of the program, so these 2 weeks. And then ALCF, you keep them a little bit more. I think mid-September we set up. So after that, if you need to access those machines, you will need to request for your own discretionary allocation or whatever is the allocation that you will need. So I will recommend that don't be shy. Test. If it doesn't work, well, at least you know what doesn't work, and then if you want to explore what could go wrong or well, it would be very useful at least to take advantage of this opportunity. Not only machines, but we are humans, so please talk with all try at least to talk with all the lecturers that are coming. They are eager to share their science and their work with you, and they are really very excited about talking with all the participants. So in general, you just stop by, and if you have questions, if you want to stay after the dinner to talk with one of them, it's very useful. And talk between you also. I think that is important. With the introductions, one of the things that we are trying to do is to find out the field that you are part of, because that may be easier for you to detect, oh, this is the same problem that I'm trying to solve, how did you do? So we think that it's very important to have also that conversation between the participants. And we are here to help. We have the office, check-in, and people offline that's helping us, so don't hesitate if you have questions also. We will let you know how to ask for questions also. And enjoy. I hope that at the end you will still enjoy the program. So logistics, a reminder. If you have to take information from the agenda, well, you know the website, Extreme Computing. You just need to click in the middle, and you can filter. So this is very useful, filtering or by tracks, or by days, or by location. Some of the lecturers are not talking the day of their track. It's only 3 cases that we were not able to accommodate them. So tonight, it's fine. Tomorrow you will have John Mayer-Cromie from track 5, who will be presenting about HPT Toolkit, but he is still attached to track 5. So if you want to find the information about the track, I will say that if you want to go specifically to what is related to the track, go to that and then make sure that you don't miss the day. And if you need also information on where we are supposed to have dinner or where you are supposed to have lunch, you can select by the location. And the days is easy. If you want to look for the PDF, you just have to go into the more info, and then you click in the slide presentation. You will be able to see that. You receive all Argonne Pocket folder. It has the maps, some preliminary information, especially for the ones who go to the tour, and the information about the Wi-Fi and the Argonne magazine. General logistics, I was mentioning, this is one of the maps that you receive. So it's a big, complex center. Don't get lost, it can be easy. And this is the Q Tower Dining. Tonight, when we go to the Fox River Ballroom, we will see where it is. So the ones that came today, I will show you where it is, and then it will be easier because we have to go. If you see here, there are different levels in the structure of the center, so we have to make sure that you know how to go. There will be a photo group. I will let you know. It's going to be probably next week, and I will let you know in case it's possible if you can wear a white T-shirt to make sure it's kind of like Wimbledon, that everybody is perfect. And you will receive the menus tonight. So I put them together, receive this week. Still things that may change, but if someone is interested in knowing the menu, some of you have specific needs, then you still can browse that too. There may be some interviews for an article that we would like to write, so that I will let you know too also if you want to talk with one of the Argonne team that is going to conduct those interviews. And then the location for the buses, the day that we will, at the end of the program, the last day, some of you will take in a bus from here to O'Hare. That will be in South Entrance, and it's also be the same location for the Argonne tour. You will receive that again by email with more details, but I just letting you know. And this is a map that I didn't have the time that I sent you the final logistics. Maybe it's easier for you to repair. This is the classroom, this is the office. This is the area for the breaks, the nourishment hubs. We are sharing the hubs and this section with another conference, so you will see people that is not probably from your conference, or maybe eventually check because it's completely different, but it's fine. So you have the times for the hubs is from 8 to 11, so you have things there, and from 2 to 5. And then the office hours will be from 8 to 5. But you can always contact us by email if you need any pressing thing. And that I wanted to put it, Mens sana in corpore sano, I'm from Spain and we study Latin, so in general, sometimes we make reference to these kind of sentences. So I know that the program is very intensive, but we are taking half of your time. The other half is for you, and one of the reasons why we are here is because of the choices and the selections that you can do if you like to do sports. So there is a fitness center that you don't need to pay for the bikes, but you can take a walk with the bike. You can rent I don't think you need to pay, I think it's complementary to the ones that are here, but you can play some of the sports. So the aerobic mile chart is something that is included also. I think I saw in the elevator that there are kayak tours or other stuff, so try to find information to make sure that you don't get too much stress. That's the point. And for especially the ones that are coming from international, the daytime, so sunrise is 5:45, and then sunset at 13, this is today. Compared to Spain, for example, sunrise is at 7 a.m. So you see that you probably need to wake up early if you want to do some sport, but you still have time during daytime. This I mentioned before, meals, I will send you this information. I will just put it together, breakfast, lunch. It may vary, but still, and so it's pretty rich information that we have while you will get. And the introductions tonight. Thank you all for sending your slides and for filling the information. And this is a sample for me. So official title, Principal Performance Specialist, Principal Project Specialist, Computational Science, and I like two-phase flows. And work at Argonne National Laboratory, and in my free time, which doesn't happen very frequently, I like to read and travel as much as I can. So tonight, during the introductions, let me go back. So we don't need to go here. You will stand up, and then I will go over the slides, and you just present what are your main topics or what is your research that you like. And feedback, we are very, very interested in your feedback, any kind of, by email or in the evaluations that you will see, because that helps improve the program. The initial versions, they didn't have the tour, there were not the introductions, so we think that there are elements that are very, very useful for you for the next one that we'll attend. There's going to be a raffle every night, so there are 12. You can have one book of this from the KNL, the Kneislandin architecture. We have 10 of those. We have 2 from Pavan signed. James Reinders is going to come here, not this week, the second week, the Tuesday 8th, so you can get signed by him if you want. So, and then thank you, Ashley, for the lawn jars, and we will have also some small flash drives to go with it. So you receive a small number, and then that number we will get from a pool, and then we will post the information. So we will post that in the office. Who to ask for help on site? Well, the office will be open from 8 to 5. It's going to be during lunchtime, small overlapping, so you can go still there. So they will go at lunch from noon to 1, and then you can still, from 1 to 1:30, you have available. Computing issues we will have during the first week, also people from the facility, and in general, our best way is, I would say, is to send an email to support, or myself. And I want to thank, before I finish, ECP, which is the exascale computing project that is providing funding for this program, and not only for this, but also the facilities that are giving us the hours and the time for the reservations to help you work with the systems. Because otherwise, if you don't have some of the reservations, it will take you, I wouldn't say forever, but more of the length of the program to get into the machine. Yes. And thank you all for your attention. I think I consumed all my time. And we still have 2 minutes for questions. And welcome, everybody.